up, guys? Team Stamp West, Discraft Underground Team Captain. We got Alex. Alex, how's it going?
Pretty good. As you can see, I'm in some new digs, so that's going to be something to get used to. But other than that, all good.
Nice. Yeah, I'm struggling with my words during COVID times here a little bit, not seeing people as much. So we'll get through it. We got the man we've been trying to get on for a long time. We got Terry Rothlisberger.
Yes.
Terry, thanks for joining us. Just a reminder to our viewers, give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you guys haven't already. We'll jump in with our first question that we love to ask people. How did you get into disc golf?
Pretty much, I lived right across the street from one of my home courses, Brockway Disc Golf Course in Rosemount. And a short story was I had like a little dog toy frisbee, and I was playing the course, and I was watching these guys play, and I was like, hey, can I play through? And he was like, yeah, just don't hit me in the back of the head. And while knowing me, I decided to throw, hit the guy in the back of the head. And while the guy, he was super nice, and he was like, he was like, what are you throwing? And he gave me a force, me Starfire, and then he also gave me a putter. And then I started going, and I started playing around like August. That's when I found out about disc golf. And from there on, I played a couple leagues, and then my first tournament was in April, I think.
Yeah.
The next upcoming year.
Wow. Nice. We've heard a lot of interesting paths into disc golf, but I don't think anybody has said they started out with a dog, a dog frisbee yet. So that's a new one. That's awesome. So we have kind of a new question we haven't asked. I don't think we've asked on here before. You've been playing open for a long time. Really, your first year you started competing. You played a couple intermediate tournaments. You played advanced, and by the end of the year, you were already playing open. I feel like there's such a big percentage of disc golfers who are in that AM1 tier that could probably play MPO and cash once in a while, but could play MPO and better themselves. And so I kind of wanted to ask you what your experience was moving from AM1 to open, and is there some added pressure that either you put on yourself or that you just kind of feel extrinsically moving into open and playing for cash?
Yes, but no. Pretty much, I out there when I first started like playing, and why I actually played pro at that tournament was I needed gas money to go home. And while I'd already in Minnesota, you have to pay like 3 months in advance prior to the tournament. And it was like $40, and I had already paid. Couldn't get my money back, and like, well, I might as well. They were like, well, how much is it for pro? And he's like, well, it's like $10 extra. I was like, okay, well, just throw me in pro. And so I ended up playing pretty well, and I think I got like 6th or 7th, and I ended up and that was my first like cash tournament. I ended up taking cash, and I needed gas money to get home. So it was just, that's how my pro started. So.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Much, I was not expecting to cash. I was like, whatever. And I had way too many discs that I could ever want already, because was amazing back then. You just bid on a disc, and then it eventually ends up at your house.
That's awesome.
One of the steps, I guess, to like jump from advanced into the open field. The biggest thing is just one time you just got to do it. Yes, you might not cash at every single event, but with better people is going to make you better. To begin with, you're going to push yourself harder to a better shot, because that person that is on your card, you're going to throw a better shot because they are. It's like, and honestly, I have a lot more fun playing open in open tournaments than I did playing advanced. The open division is it's different. Like, everyone's just out there to I mean, in a C tier, yes. In a C tier, it's like everyone's out there to have fun. Even during like A tiers and B tiers, we still it's different.
Yeah.
Like it's less cutthroat compared to like advanced.
That's a really interesting point because like obviously you're playing for money, so sometimes like I've only played AM, so like sometimes it feels like the guys at the top are playing for money, so it's a bit more real, but like there's a sense of camaraderie, especially in local tournaments. I've come to learn that like the local guys who are all pros all know each other, so they all know, oh, I know almost exactly what this guy's gonna throw on every single hole. So it's less of a like you're going after this like advanced title. It's more of like I'm playing against the same guys I'll play for $5 with on a Tuesday.
Yep. It's just, I mean, you're pretty much like playing with your buddies, especially in Minnesota. Like I've played just about everyone in the state of Minnesota, and every like just playing with everyone, you already know what they're gonna throw, and it's just like every all of us. I mean, yeah, we make fun of each other on the course when we throw a bad shot, like either when it's during a tournament or like it's just like it's like another rec round. It's going out there and having fun.
That's really cool. So kind of tying into that, just playing all the guys in Minnesota. This weekend we're going to Minnesota. We're going to the preserve. It's a new course. It's a new everything. What can you tell us about kind of the Minnesota scene, but also kind of tying that into this brand new tournament that's kind of popped up out of nowhere, more or less, at the preserve.
Um, I know it was Kale's dream. Like he's super excited to have it there. Um, just I guess what was the question again? I kind of like
Yeah, so
parts
kind
of
of
it,
talk.
but not the whole thing.
Yeah, talk to us about kind of the culture around Minnesota disc golf and what the preserve kind of looks like in that ecosystem, and then we'll work from there.
So pretty much, I mean, Minnesota, it's just another type of like family. It's like everyone in Minnesota is we're a big group. It's we all like mash together and we all just I mean anyone that asks Minnesota's like one of I guess it's one of the biggest like disc golf communities. It's probably not the biggest because there's everyone always debates about who has the biggest
Yeah,
community. I mean, I'm not going to say that Minnesota is the biggest. I mean, it's probably one of them, but
yeah,
who knows? Um, just in the course or like the property that it's on, it's there's two separate courses that were Kale made, and he made a better like professional actual like championship course on or out of the two courses, and then like made some of the tee pads go back farther, or like made the pins longer, shorter, or like a tougher layout, or like or what you tougher fairways too.
gotcha.
Nice.
But it's right along the Mississippi River, and it's just a beautiful looking course. Like the area, the only, like bad thing is I mean we have the state bird, the mosquito, and it's just there's a lot of mosquitoes out there. So I mean that's one of the bad things. But I mean, I mean once you're there, it's
Yeah,
breathtaking. So
that's
Is it
so cool.
is it pretty open course? I know we've seen a couple previews with some of the water shots. Is it open? Would you classify it as more like wooded golf, a mix of both?
well, it's on a golf course, so I mean,
Okay.
yes, some of the shots are open, but he also does a very good job of have like certain fairways of like you have to hit a tight gap. Like hole two, like hole one, yeah, it's a wide open gap, wide open fairway, and I mean, there's no really OB on it. Hole two, you have to hit a fairway probably 6 feet wide.
Wow.
It's so
Oh wow,
like hole one, you go wide open, then hole two, it's like, oh sweet, I gotta throw like a zone or like a Luna up the fairway. So it's just there's a lot of mixed different
that's
shots.
that's really
Nice.
cool. That's really cool, and it's interesting because Kale obviously is well known in the community, and he's crafting this new experience. So, can you talk to us about what like so you talked about the course a bit. What does this tournament look like in like the broader scene around Minnesota? Because obviously there's Blue Ribbon Pines, but this course is brand new. How do you think this kind of stacks up, if you will, to Blue Ribbon Pines?
It has a different feel. So like
Okay.
BRP, it's or Blue Ribbon Pines is more wooded than this. I would say this is more of like a it's coldest country club
Okay.
because of the roped fairways and like you throw into there's not as many like if you throw into the woods, you more than likely to go like you're taking that stroke. If you end up getting a
Hmm.
kick off a tree and into the woods, you got to go in there because there's no ropes.
Gotcha.
Yep.
They don't just give you the stroke to come back out,
Yeah.
which I feel like that's if you do go in there, you're getting penalized. It's not
Yeah.
like oh
Yeah.
they just let you come right back out and throw from the fairway.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
That's really interesting. So
Uh,
it kind of sounds like it's almost a good complement to BRP, which is a really like obviously everybody knows BRP as this iconic, amazing course, and it's cool to see that like rather than create another one similar to it, you guys are working on making something that's unique and almost complementary. So what I'd like to do now is actually rewind a little bit to this past weekend. Speaking of another DGPT event, you came out and more or less popped up the leaderboard towards the end and ended up in the top 10, getting an invitation to USDGC. Can you talk about your weekend out at the DDO or the Dynamic Disc Open?
Definitely. So it was. Uh, I mean, I didn't know what to expect. It was kind of windy, but not like extremely windy. Uh, but I mean, pretty much everything that I did, I just didn't want to get in trouble. I played it really safe, really conservative, and I was like, who knows where I was? Because I was checking the leaderboards while I was playing, seeing who was teeing off and how they were doing. And besides like Paul and like the top competitors, they all shot like between and 14 on just kidding. They all shot pretty well. I mean, most of like everything that was outside the circle, I just kind of laid it up and didn't go for anything. And I found myself sitting in like it was like 27th or something like that around there at +1. But then the next day, I was like it's calm. It was probably the most calm that I've like played. I played a little bit more like aggressive and like I went for a lot of the jump putts. I ended up making a couple. I mean, I got to play with Brody and one of my good buddies, Louis Laporta. So I mean, it was like another one of my rec rounds that was just a lot of fun, and I played a lot better. So, and the third day it was really windy. So I I played aggressive, but also like conservative at some times. So like some
Pick
of
your
the
spot.
holes, if I had the opportunity to get there for it, and then like ended up paying off. So
That's really cool. So
Nice.
it's interesting to kind of hear how you attacked it. And I think your second round really is what shot you up the leaderboard going into that final day, and then it's cool because like you ended up in 10th place, which is I mean that's really nice, especially when
Pretty good.
there was so much to battle with on that final day, right? That's definitely like those are rounds that people want to forget, and you kind of stuck it out and ended up shooting a pretty hot round, all things considered. When some of the other folks around you were not shooting so great. So we do have one fan question from Brandon Hinkley, and this goes into kind of the DDO and then into the preserve because there's a lot of talk around filmed cards. How do you feel about being filmed? Do you like thrive in the opportunity to like have your name on a card that's being filmed, or do you prefer to kind of stick under the radar in those third, fourth cards and then make something happen off the track?
I love being on film. As until like last year, I kind of like the jitters. Um, but I did a lot of work during season 2.0 with Parsave,
Nice.
the Parsave Championship, and I did some with GA Pro. I did a couple. I'd had like I think like rounds during off season that I got all filmed, and that definitely helped me get to being on film or like used to on film. I've also been doing some of my rounds just filming myself throwing, whether it's just like tee shots, putting, and stuff like that. So I I mean, yes, I still get the jitters, but I mean, once I mess up once, then I'm like, oh, okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
And usually
Back
it
to
just
it.
gets better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
That's
Yeah.
usually my one tip for players, even amateur players. It's great to film yourself throwing, film yourself putting, just kind of look at what your body is actually doing versus maybe what it feels like you're doing, because it can often be two different things. But also going into the comfort factor. I mean, if you're used to kind of having that pressure, that outside pressure of a camera on you, even if it's just you and your camera, it still kind of feels like it's there. And that can help you even out on the course when you're playing through people or when you're playing with new people. And it's just kind of a good way to sort of get used to those nerves, like you said, and you're gonna have them. You're gonna have them. Even the best guys talk about having them, but it's just figuring out how to kind of manage those and sort of get used to them.
Exactly. Yeah, the worst thing is when you ask to play through and then you absolutely shank your drive. So
yeah.
we've all done that before.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Me probably more than my fair share of times. Nice. Well, that is all of our questions. So we're going to move into our rapid fires. We got 10 rapid fires. We got a couple easy ones, a couple fun ones. These will just be quick answer. Feel free to think about it for a quick second if you need to, but we'll roll right on through them. Are you ready? Sweet. First one, starting out easy. Favorite color?
A green, like an olive green.
Olive green. That's a strange one. Your favorite non-disc golf athlete?
Ooh. I think I'll have to go with Kobe. I really like Kobe.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Your favorite tournament of the year, this year, last year, any year?
My favorite tournament I always play like my best rounds at the Des Moines Challenge down in Des Moines, Iowa.
That's
It's
awesome.
just, I mean, it's the courses are just awesome, so I really play well there.
Nice.
So cool.
Nice. Some good confidence you have in that one. Your favorite place that you have traveled for disc golf?
I really liked South Carolina, and I also really liked Cali. Besides the for the wintertime open, besides the traffic in Cali, it was just never thought that I'd ever go to California and would just disc golf there. Like I never thought disc golf would bring me to any of these places. So
That's awesome.
Yeah. Cali's pretty far from Minnesota, certainly a different world even in itself. The best course in your home city that everyone should play?
I think Kaposia. Kaposia is just, I mean, that's a must. Kaposia is a really fun course. It's not in my home city. It's just a fun wooded course. It's where I learned to throw hyzer flips. And really need a driver there. Definitely taught me how to throw mids pretty well. So
Nice.
That's cool.
Good skills course then. Your favorite thing to do off the disc golf course? Food?
Eating.
That's great.
I love eating. Any kind of food. I mean, if you can give me a good restaurant, I'll go and check it out.
That's
Do you have a
wonderful.
favorite city that has like the best food?
Well, we went to Emporia this past weekend and the Bobby D's on like Merchant Street, and we went there 4 times in 4 days, and
Oh, wow.
it was pretty good. I got something different every single time. It was really good. So I definitely recommend checking that out.
That's
Nice.
cool.
Other than that, I mean, I'm excited to check out all the different places that I'm going to be going.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Just love it all. That's awesome. You only get 3 discs, and you're headed out to the toboggan. What are you bringing?
And my ESP nuke. Gotta go Challenger, and I mean probably a Buzz. I mean I haven't been able to play the course yet, but I think 3 discs will be able to help me out with a lot of the holes.
Yeah, a lot of those holes, you're kind of throwing some bombs or up the fairway anyway. So great choice, especially if you haven't played the course. Good choice.
Yeah.
The bigger villain, Darth Vader or Kylo Ren?
I don't really know who Kylo Ren is.
Kylo Ren, the newer movies.
That's great.
Oh, the newer Star. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of the new Star Wars, so I guess I can't really.
Dang it.
I mean, so I gotta go with Vader because I mean I've seen 5 and 6. That's about it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. He's definitely the right answer too. They're trying to make Kylo Ren like a nice guy. So we have a doubles match. We're taking Minnesota versus Virginia. You and Kale versus Macbeth and Conrad. I don't know where. Maybe let's go at the Preserve. We'll put it in Minnesota. Who's winning?
I mean, I want to say me and Kale, but honestly, I mean, Paul and James can just probably about average 50 to 100 feet farther than us, so I'm thinking they're taking it.
Interesting. I didn't expect distance to be the thing. I just know that the technicality of the shots for both duos, I thought it was a really cool. It was wild because
it'd be a fun one.
Oh yeah, it'd be really really cool to see.
I mean, James and Paul, me and Kale kind of just we don't have. I mean, yes, we can throw. We got the sneaky distance, but not Paul and distance.
Interesting.
Their distance is just
10 step run up distance. And we got to finish with my favorite question because I feel like it's maybe in the works. We've seen the Macbeth brothers battle on the Foundation channel, so we're taking the Macbeth brothers, we're taking the Yulee brothers, and we're putting them head to head. Oh geez, I don't even know what a good course is for those two to battle, but we're putting them head to head somewhere competitive. Who do you got?
A wooded course. It's got to be a wooded course. I think it's gonna be the Yulee brothers. They're sneaky.
Yeah.
Really?
I've played with Pete. I've played with Paul. Paul Yulee literally just makes those flip nukes, and he just throws the Thrasher in the heat. If it's a wooded course, I feel like those two will take it down.
Nice. I think it would be super fun to have those two battle, maybe on an open course, kind of like the Toboggan, and then take them into the woods like an Idlewild or something, and see.
Definitely.
See what the head's up, and then maybe there's a tiebreaker somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, that is all of our questions. We want to give you a minute to thank anybody that you want to thank and add anything that you would like. So the floor is yours.
Awesome. You to my amazing sponsors, Discraft, Airborne. Thank you, Bushnell, also for hooking me up with a rangefinder. Thank you. I appreciate that. To my mom for helping me out with anything that I need and me fulfill my dreams of just on the road. And shout out to my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Who's letting me use her computer.
That's awesome. So I again thank you, Terry, for joining us. It's really cool to hear kind of what your background is, from throwing a dog toy and hitting somebody to competing quite literally with and above the top players in the sport. So thank you, Terry. Good luck this weekend, very much. And then at the end of the day, Wes, there's one thing left to do, and what is that?
You got to make that putt.